Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Monday, back at it again for a new week. So much to look forward to this week, cosmically. Got a full moon coming up in Leo on the 24th or 25th, I believe. 24th or 25th now, I can't remember. But in a couple days, nonetheless, you can start to govern yourself accordingly now. And all eyes are on Pluto right now as it has moved into Aquarius and will be forward moving in that sign until May, when it retrogrades again and it goes back into Capricorn and then goes forward again until the end of the year when it finally crosses over into it'll move back into Aquarius again, and then it'll be in Aquarius for like 20 plus years or something like that, because that's just how it moves. But for the time being, there are definitely some powerful changes underway, because we know Pluto is a strong force in the cosmic order. When it steps into an arena, it more or less kind of literally morphs and brings changes and endings for new beginnings, and kind of clears the way for things or of things that are no longer serving. So given it has moved out of Capricorn into Aquarius, I'm not going to really obviously talk too much about that, but it definitely is a signature transit to be mindful of. So you might want to consider where you might have Aquarius in your chart, where Uranus is in your chart, and things of that nature, to kind of decide or discern or consider how you may be affected, or what house or aspect of your life would be most affected at this time. And ultimately, it'll just be influencing you to take a deeper dive into things that you may be attached to beyond its high frequency effect, things that are no longer serving, what may be holding you back, or just it's all about moving forward with the celestial bodies always, as they're always, sometimes they're moving backwards, but even when it's a backward motion, it's more an internal motion, it's particularly for us. So it's always for the purposes of growth and expansion. So anyway, you might want to take a deeper dive into that yourself. I actually may post it's like a 10-minute message that I stumbled across, a new astrologer. I'm pretty locked in to the Peace Dealer as my go-to astrologer, because he's just so masterful at what he does on so many different levels. But definitely the language that he speaks astrologically just resonates with me very clearly and concisely, in a way that sometimes that language can kind of go over your head if you're not particularly well versed in it or astute in that area, which I'm getting there, but I'm not quite there yet. I feel the energies more than I intellectualize them, but I am in this year looking to bridge the gap between those transmissions. And following the Peace Dealer, shout out to him, is one way that I have elevated my intellectual consciousness of the cosmos. So again, shout out to him and the God Squad that he leads over there on his platform. Another one is Gemini Brown. I like his energy too. But this new guy that I stumbled across, his name is, and he seems kind of fresh, because it doesn't seem like he has a whole hell of a lot of viewership and a whole hell of a lot of, traffic, but I was really feeling what he was saying. I liked his energy and it made sense. So perhaps I'll post that on the community tab. And right now, I think his name is like Jono the lucky Libra or something like that, or Juno, I forget. But again, if I feel so moved to, I'll post it. All right, so enough about that. Small talk. Today, my tea bag says, appreciate yourself and honor your soul. That's beautiful. I didn't look at it before, so we're both getting that download together. Appreciate yourself and honor your soul. That's always on time. We could never read that enough, right? All right, so let's see what we got here. Page of Cups. This is a message. Somebody has something to say of some emotional essence. Speaking of a Page of Cups. Maybe somebody has some tea to share, that's a little juicy or a little bit, with the fish in the cup. It may be something strange that somebody has to or wants to say or wants to share. Could be that. I never really got that before with the Page of Cups, but there's that. But it could be an emotional message. It could be a loving message. It could be an apology. It could be some expression of endearment. It could, again, as I said, it could be gossip. Could be gossip. I guess that's a more practical term for the tea, in case you were lost on that. But who is, my God, we all know what the tea is, right? But the tea, in this case, gossip is not always the truth, right? The tea is supposed to be the truth. So in this regard, with the Page of Cups, you may, I'm getting like, you may want to be mindful and discerning of what you receive as the truth when it's coming to you. Really put your listening ears on the inside out, because the tea and the gossip can be two very different things. And sometimes the tea can be presented, the gossip can be presented as the tea, i.e. the truth, when it may have some inflections of something real, but it may be embellished, let's put it that way, or may have some strange aspects that aren't quite pure. Yeah, that's what that's giving me with the Page of Cups. Yeah, so be mindful of what your information that you're plugging into, or what information you're allowing to plug into you at this time. And that could be on a small scale and on a grand scale. Because what I'm sensing here with the Page of Cups being more of a childlike energy is the vulnerability of your emotional state. And particularly as I started off talking about us moving into a full moon energy in Leo, and then having Pluto shifting gears, there could be a great intensity of vibrations going on cosmically that we're having to navigate emotionally, for sure. We're talking about Pluto. That's in the psyche as well, so you may have some things stirring up. Oh, wow, I ain't even really get into it that way, but you may have some things stirring up that really draw you deeper into because we're talking about Aquarius, right? Into your individualization, like who you are presenting yourself to be in the world amidst or amongst the collective, not necessarily completely separate from or detached from, but as one of the whole, but still very much so unique, so there could be quite a bit of things coming up, and maybe even the intel that you're receiving, consider this messenger is an internal one to yourself, may cause for you to be as intentional as possible about purifying that message in ways that truly, render it the tea, that filtering, that percolator type of energy, whereas you're getting just the pure essence of the fluid, the substance, the spirit. In this regard, it may cause for you to do some straining of information, not just on the inside out, but also consider that projections from the outside in may be at an all-time high. And as I said, with the tea and me talking about gossip and the tea, it could be things like, say, propaganda, so to speak, which is definitely in alignment with Aquarius and Pluto. It's like the things that may be projected to you with the intention, with some inflection of truth, maybe even real world circumstances, but with the intention of infecting or infecting, it was a strong word. I didn't really mean to say that, but influencing some emotional reaction. You know, like, just be mindful of what you're seeing on the outside, trying to forage an impulse on the inside, and also the information that you're telling yourself, as well as what you're allowing in and what people around you, you know, absorbing the energies of those around you who are also going through their same process. So, just, I don't know what to say about this one, but just guard your mind and your emotions, you know. Hide your kids, hide your wife, because, you know, and hide your husbands, because they're ripping everybody out here, okay? Oh, man, that's funny. That will never not be funny to me. Never. Andre Dotson. All right. Antoine. Sorry, my dude. Antoine Dotson. Antoine. All right. So we got the Six of Wands. Okay. Love to see it. Victory, success, recognition, reward, moving ahead or moving forward. Yeah, I like to say ahead with the Six of Wands. Chariot is more like a forward motion. I mean, it may be one and the same, you know, depending on how you see it. But when I see the Chariot, it's like facing forward, like it's moving forward in some powerful way. The Six of Wands is moving ahead, like it could even be, I was just saying this in my mind too, like it could even be a lateral move. It doesn't even necessarily have to be upward or vertical, but it's just a continuance of transition from one place to another, but in a very successful light, you know, in a satisfying way to the one that is moving, and perhaps to those that are spectating, or, well, then again, I don't know. I would say yes, you know, because this is someone that's moving. Ideally, this is someone that's moving ahead with a great deal of support for their ambitions. Sometimes I see it as leaving the energy of the Five of Wands behind, which is competition and sometimes a little bit of chaos and confusion. But this is someone that has proven themselves to be a leader amongst their peers. Let's say it like that. I've never really said that about the Six of Wands, but let's say it like that. And then the Queen of Swords. Now I'm going to have to see. I always have to see what's on the other side of the Queen of Swords, or when an energy is like open or offering to something else. I kind of got to get another card to get more context, but the Queen of Swords, as we know, is an energy that is highly intellectual, very communicative, expressive in her visions. Let's see what else we got. Which this is the very opposite. Well, not the opposite. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say that she would be too open to someone that is unsure of themselves, which is what this Two of Pentacles is giving me. Because the Queen of Swords is pretty decisive and practical in her, well, I should say direct and affirmative in her decision making. She is open to listen and consider other intel, but generally speaking, she's not really teetering on her own settlement. Like she's carrying the sword of truth for a reason. But here's this Two of Pentacles, which is somebody that, what is giving me? Like, I don't know why I just got this visual, and I don't know why I'm seeing so many business examples lately. But what it's giving me is someone, because the Queen of Swords can be like an executive or a high position, someone that holds a position of expertise in some way, shape, or form, right? Again, like a power mover. She makes decisions. CEO type vibes. Then we got, or even lawyer type vibes with the Queen of Swords. That gives another spin too. But we got this person. What I saw was like somebody that has some type of business presentation or proposal that they want to pitch, right? But this is them though. This is the energy that they're in. They're like not super confident. They don't seem very secure in what they're offering. The Queen of Swords is asking very direct but yet probing questions about maybe like their prospects, their business model, what they project is, what their projected returns are. This is somebody that, I don't know why I'm seeing that. I don't know why I'm seeing it, but somebody that like they may have a good idea and they're definitely not going to decline the opportunity to have an audience with such as the Queen of Swords. As I said, someone that is in a high position of power or authority in some way, but they don't really have it all together. Like she's come a great, if this is her, in this Six of Wands, it's like she is, like I said, she's proven herself to her peers, and this is the position that she sits in with the Queen of Swords. This is where she's come from, is what I'm picking up now. A great deal of competition behind her. Not that it necessarily had to be gritty, but it's not like she was given anything. This is given the energy of someone that had to kind of prove themselves to be a high level intellectual or expert or executive or whatever the hell it is that she proves to be at this level of the Queen. And this is someone that's wanting to gain her support. He almost looked a bit like a jester right now, like a joker in this regard, and it's kind of like, oh, it's like somebody would want, and they ain't got but two nickels to rub together, so they either need the expertise of the Queen to help them really build their prospects and their portfolio or their presentation overall, or they're needing that expertise to help them to grow whatever this vision or this brand. I see it more as a brand with the Two of Pentacles. It's something very material. Maybe they've even started a small business, and they're trying to present it for some type of capital investment, and it's just not well put together. So I don't know what this is saying, because what does that really matter to the Queen of Swords? Like I said, she'll be open to listen, to entertain. She may even offer some good advice, but Queen of Swords is pretty objective in her decision making. So maybe perhaps you're going to be put in positions to really, this isn't the Queen of Cups. It's not even the Queen of Wands that may be a bit ambitious of something that could have potential. With the Two of Pentacles here, maybe it has a potential, or it even has shown itself to be profitable in some small way. But it's given that you're going to have to kind of guard your reputation, your position, your own stability to some degree with wise decision making. Yeah, because here's Wand energy here. Maybe the risk that you've taken on yourself have proven to be quite beneficial and advancing. But you got to be mindful of wanting to maybe invest that energy into others, even if it's heartfelt, because it's like I said, it's like, oh, like, I see what you're doing here, I see where you're going, but you may have to make some really strong decisions about what you're going to invest your energy and time, even your expertise, but certainly your resources into, which all of that is essential as a resource, right? Because some just may not be ready for that level of engagement. I say best case scenario with the Queen of Swords, like I said, she could probably give some great advice on um, how he could build, how he could kind of get it together, more or less, even if it's not for her, but for the next presentation, like some things that he may be missing. It could be kind of a teachable moment perhaps, but it's quite a bit of a mismatch here in whatever this exchange. Remember, we started with the Page of Cups. So yeah, there lies the intention to kind of bridge an emotional attachment by way of communication. So it could even be someone you have an affinity for, or would want to have a heart to help, especially if you come from a certain humble beginnings, or had to had a very competitive journey to some degree. You would naturally want to help make the road a little bit easier for someone else, or to be that savior, so to speak, in some way, shape, or form that you may not have had, but you still, even with all the resources, all the expertise, all of the material, all the facility at hand, it still takes a great deal of discernment and objectivity to manage your resources, particularly when it's a matter of aligning it with others. Yeah, and here it is with the Knight of Cups. Yeah, it's like it's advanced a little bit from the page, but not much. So maybe what you have to offer can definitely forge. And I'm gonna bring this down again, because again, I like to see what's the Knight offering to. It will influence some advancement and some growth, but let's say for maybe him to take that offer elsewhere and do what with it, because he did grow, yeah, maybe, and then master it. There's the mastery card. So I don't know. It's like, I guess what I'm sensing is, especially in a feminine role, it's particularly feminine energies that are in high level positions of power, we can often be entangled in the emotional side of affairs, where it's like you kind of have to balance with the Two of Pentacles, right? Like, manage what of it you get to lean into, if any at all, and what not so much, like the objectivity, as with the Queen of Swords, she is a bit emotionally detached, as a matter of fact, but sometimes it'll be okay to move in the way of compassion and like a nurturing come from. It's like, maybe it's calling feminine energies moving in high level positions and moving into, to not feel so resistant to their emotional side, because a lot of women have been conditioned to kind of really harden up to play in the male dominated world as it is. And that hasn't holistically worked for them either. You know what I mean? Like, it serves as almost like a shield of protection, and like it's like like a turtle shield, a turtle shell. But for the most part, there's a soft essence in there, which is the true essence of the turtle, the life of the turtle, that is far more substantial and precious than the shell itself, you know. Like that's where the life is, that's where the heart is beating, that's where his limbs are flexible, and you know, things like that. So all that to say is that there probably is a call for balancing between the intellectual and emotional self, and more of in an even more harmonious way than it has been up until this point, where you almost feel like you have to turn it off completely. Because what this gained for her to be at least open to exchanging information and expertise is that someone got to grow. You know, she may not have had to, she may not have been willing to receive the offer, but at least they were able to go elsewhere. And as I said, advance their position, expand, learn, build. The Hermit card is definitely about becoming an expertise in some way, shape, or form, like practicing your craft, learning, you know, the ins and outs of what could ultimately make you a master of your craft to some degree. And maybe so it's okay to give as much as you feel guided to, but what I was getting to before I kind of went off on a tangent is don't feel, because that's the other part of the emotional side, like to almost feel bad being direct and being objective either, because your dismissal or rejection or whatever the case may be that may have been a hard decision could still mean the matter of growth for someone elsewhere. And I could see this even in relationships too, you know, where especially with the Page of Cups, somebody that wants to maybe even reconcile or give apologies, come to some closure type of, like, what's that saying? I don't really like the saying, but it's something like learn me or I become a lesson or something like that. I don't really like that, but that's what just came up in my mind. It's like you could just very well be a lesson for someone, and it's not you saying no thank you or dismissing in advance. Because I started off with this being like a business proposal, right? But say it's a marriage proposal, God forbid, or some relationship advancement or opportunity or engagement of sorts that you're being offered. It's okay to say no, even if your heartstrings are tugged, or if you feel like, you know, because this is somebody that, like I said, it's like that. It's no shade to them, but they don't have what you're looking for, or what would be objectively on your list of, you know, for a synergy here. I'm trying to say it nicely, you know what I mean? Like, it could be as primitive as somebody that just really doesn't have their shit together, you know, like they ain't got no money, they don't have no stability, they don't have no plan for none, they don't have a vision, an outlook, you know, like just kind of like, you know, I don't know, or just still in the stage where they shouldn't be expected to have that because of whatever their transition. Look, this is a journey for himself. If we're coming from the Page to the Knight, he's on his own journey, so it's okay, you know. But it's also okay, particularly for us as women, to be okay saying like, I wish you well on your path, but this is just not going to be an ideal match, you know, for me. It's not going to work for me. Sometimes that's a hard thing to say, you know. Sometimes it's even a hard thing to feel, especially, like I said, as a woman, if you've come from humble beginnings, or you could be stuck in this mindset. You could be susceptible, not stuck, but you know, you could be impacted by this mindset of the competition in the world. Like, there ain't but so many half decent men. At least he's trying, you know, that type of thing. But it's like, oh, you know, for the Queen of Swords, even the Knight still got some work to do. You know, like it's still a bit of a mismatch, and perhaps with time they'll be exactly where they need to be for them, and maybe things will realign as they, you know, in some universal ordained way. But we're talking about present energy with the Queen of Swords. It's like, what do you have to show me right now? What's your message now? What are you offering now? What are the facts and figures right here, right now? Not the potential, because it seems like this person, they didn't even, like I said, they ain't had no projected plan, no, what's the ideal vision for return and results. Like, they ain't had none of that. They may not even had a business plan going for themselves. And it's like, yeah, you've come too far to be settling. Yeah, like, and then here we go. Like, here's the work, and it could be the work that you have done. So it's like, when you know that you are a hard worker, like you've done a great deal of work on yourself, you've done a great deal of practical work, you have a different value for work ethic, and so you don't get to just throw that away on the sheer possibility of what someone might be able to do. And because see, we as women, we do a lot of potential partnershiping, where it's like, well, I know if I get with them, because we know our energy, but you still have to factor in someone else's path for their own purpose, so it can't, no longer can we really rely on like, well, I could support him, like I know I could help bring his visions to life. Trust me, I know, because I've been there, so I am not preaching, I am testifying, okay? Like, well, I know that, with my love, my support, my affection, my energy, shoot, my hard work, my drive, whatever the case may be, I know that I could look at this advancement, bring him from a 2 of Pentacles to the 8, put him right on the path he should go. And that's it's not totally impossible, and it's nothing, it's nothing to look down upon to have the desire to do that. And some people may feel assigned to take on a commitment, even a business one, or platonic or intimate one, where you may have a little bit more to offer at first, at least, materially so, or energetically or intellectually so, than the other partner does. Hopefully there's some exchange that makes it all worth it. Otherwise, I still feel like in this day and age, you'll still find yourself feeling a bit imbalanced, because of how you start. It's different when I got something to bring to the table that you don't, and you got something to bring to the table that I don't. That's ideal. That's what it is. Who comes to the table 100% loaded with everything they could possibly, maybe some, I don't know, do your thing, but 100% overloaded with what you need, or uploaded with what you need. Not many, I'll say. Not many and not most. But it's one thing to jump into something where not only can you see that there is going to be a disparity, but you can't even really quite see the evidence for the projection. Remember, I was talking about like his fumbling in the presentation, or could even be like early signs of red flags where somebody talks a good game, but then you kind of see how they move, see how they work, see, their energy levels, what they do with their money, how they invest or don't, or, and even their time and energy. And it's like, I don't know. Like, I know this is what you want to happen, but do you have the true potential at this point to advance into that reality, You releasing that energy to go figure some things out, some facts and figures for themselves, could actually be more helpful to someone's growth than harmful, to just take on their weight and carry it on, and with hopes, like fingers crossed, that they actually make good on what they propose. I don't even know why. This is interesting. So this can go for business, this could go for, relationships. Yeah, well, here it is. And right up under the Two of Pentacles, right? Imbalanced partnership. Or is it? Is the question. Yeah. And we got the Knight of Swords here. See, this is just getting, I don't know. It's like with the Knight of Swords, it's giving me somebody that's almost feeling entitled to your hard work, or entitled to you as a resource for their work, or advancement or productivity in some way. It's like, yeah, it just it's not given. It's not giving balance for me, especially with the Two of Pentacles over the with the Two of Cups. In this instance, as I've said before, sometimes that Two of Cups can look like he's trying to take her cup and she's offering it willingly with two hands, but he's still holding on to his. He's taking a little bit more than he's offering, or maybe that he's even willing to offer. And that could be emotionally as well in terms of availability, because we all know how men are. And when they don't have their financial stability set or intact, like they don't feel secure materially, good, bad, or indifferent, however you see it, but that's the masculine mind, that they gotta kind of feel the good ones. Usually, there's a different breed out there where, like I said, they feel entitled to what you work for. It's like it's both of ours type of energy. But the good ones out there, they kind of want to feel not only stable on their own too, but they also want to feel like they can offer, let alone even, you know, offer to at least, how can I say it? Like offer to what the collective or partnership may be, if not even carry it to some degree. Those are the super overachievers that want to be able to be more of a support system than to be supported. And like I said, everybody's going through their own path and their own journey, and it's not to take even the pressure off of the feminine energy, not pressure, but the responsibility, I guess, and accountability off of the feminine energy to have her own security for herself, because that's the energy I'm on. Like, it definitely can be an equal playing field here, even though I'm very traditional as well, but I'm not, in this day and age, I'm not necessarily like, well, I need to be taken care of, pay all the bills, pay the car notes, and hopefully ain't no car notes, because really I ain't even trying to live that life, pay the car off in full, we don't want no credit card bills. We just want to pay the bare minimum in debt to this land and this nation as possible. But like, that's the mindset that I'm on. I'm not necessarily looking for somebody that can supersede that, but definitely want to be matching, at least with that ambition. Like, yeah, well, if we got to get a car note, what's the proper financial path so that we can pay it off as quick as possible, or we can pay the mortgage in half the time, or what I mean, have a great savings, or have some great resources set up, income stream set up, so that it don't even matter what we got, what debts we got going on, because it's always getting paid. My nose is itching like crazy, That's the, like, it's just, to me, it's given like having a high standard, and be like a high standard of relational, or I'll say contractual, because it doesn't have to be intimate, but contractual consciousness or commitment, let's say, like, and being okay with that. Like I said, whether it's someone presenting their business idea and you might have the funds or whatever to invest in it, but it's still like, I'm gonna let you let that breathe a bit, let you work on it, and then come back and see me type of vibe. Or it could be a relationship, like, oh, okay, like, all right, I see the plan, I see the vision, but I want to see, let me observe your work, let me see if your actions match with what you're saying, because the Knight of Cups can be a finesser. Let me see if your walk matches your talk type of vibe. It's okay to let that thing breathe, literally, until you feel like this is a balanced situation. Because otherwise, like, that's how we get ourselves in trouble, man, especially as ladies. Yeah, like, and then all of a sudden you done built somebody up to be a damn emperor, and they or waiting for the emperor. How about that? But I'm feeling like you go ahead and invest all your energy and time into building someone else's empire. And then what? You still Queen of Swords. It's no feminine advancement here yet. Let's see what's on the other side of this emperor. That was too many anyway. Oh, shit. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And look, this is what's on the top. I'm not going to take it, but this is what's on the top. He's fulfilled. He's full of himself. He's, completely satisfied with his accomplishments. Meanwhile, here you are over here confused, like, well, what about me? Well, what did I get out the deal? You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden the tables turn and he's dominating the situation because he feels now empowered to do so in some way, shape, or form. And this just took a dark turn, so I don't mean for it to, but that's just naturally how it feels for me, There's something about holding a high standard and agreements here in every way, shape, and form, and being okay with it. Like, you've done too much personal work on yourself to lower your standards for anyone or anything at this point. Even with the fear of time running out, your biological clock ticking, there are not enough good men out here. You should just kind of take what you can get and mold them into something, no, you can't. Don't do it. That's not ideal. If you don't see the pure evidence, facts, and figures, as the Queen of Swords would want to see, of a high-valued man who is capable of, and this goes back to what I was saying, like the good ones, they want to be able to take care, to protect, to support, to guide, to lead. That's the type of emperor vibes that you want to see on site. You want to see the evidence of that even in the small ways, like just being able to manage your own home affairs, being able to pay your own shit, or having a plan in place for how to advance your portfolio in some way, shape, or form, how to expand your resources, and like that type of stuff. Not somebody that's confused, or that you are confused as to what are you working on again? Like, what's the plan here? Like, every other week the hobby changes, the ambition shifts, and you don't even know what's going on no more. It's like the signs be there, like from day one. This is like first date energy, like talking you in circles, round and around. The signs be there, you can hear it. And then when their energy, when you see how they move, like, phone calls that you thought you were supposed to hear from. Not to say everybody is like stuck on schedules and stuff, because I'm not even like that. I'm very liberal in terms of relations, probably too damn liberal. That's another story for another day. But when you have a certain expectation, or there is an expectation, and people are falling short early on, not quite coming through on what they said they were going to do. You had plans, but all of a sudden you don't hear from them, or things change suddenly, and like they can't be accounted for. You ain't never been to their house after a month or two, or whatever your range of time expectation might be. Yes, dating them for 6-7 months, you ain't never met a friend, met a family member, a coworker, like nothing. You gotta be careful out here. And I'm probably saying that is because I started this with the Page of Cups, right? It's information. It's an exchange. Like, it's communication. And I said that it could be it could be the tea, but it could be a tainted tea. So, and then consider this Knight of Swords energy. This is definitely opportunistic vibes for me most often. And this is the finesser. So, if you got any vibes of that early on, that's like the flags to give you the easy exit so you don't find yourself, like I said, in that narcissistic cycle, being supply, literally being, oh shit, this is crazy, being premium narcissistic supply with your prosperous self for someone that knows how to talk a good game and knows how to, to say all the right things at first, but ultimately is really just in it to win it. And by it, I mean you and your achievements and accomplishments. And you, like I said, you be sitting here like, what happened? That's how that narcissistic shit go. Like you won't even know how you got there when the Seven of Cups. You don't know what cup to choose now. Like, do I stay in this relationship? Then you be confused moving forward because of the trauma and turmoil that you went through in this relationship. Then you start feeling untrustworthy of every cup that you ever been offered. And I guess that's also an energy to be aware of too, that some of us have come from narcissistic experiences or have been exposed or vulnerable to it in some way, shape, or form. And you also don't get to live like every cup is tainted either, as the Seven of Cups. Like, you can't trust nobody, because as long as you're in the Queen of Swords energy, you're willing to really consider the presentation early on and make an objective decision. That's protective enough for the work that you've done on yourself and for yourself. And still being able to, this is like protecting your passion, not being detached from it, but just protecting it. I like that. I like that a lot. Because I know that speaks to a lot of us women, particularly, that have been in domineering partnerships, or, like I said, just narcissistically abusive partnerships. In some ways, what did I talk about in the beginning? Psychologically, some emotionally. When I was talking about Pluto and all that energy, emotionally, some very covertly, in ways that we didn't realize until we were far on the other side of our healing from it, or on our way to our healing from it. Some physically, unfortunately. So it can build up a great deal of resistance, as I'm speaking of, and as I was talking about with Pluto and Aquarius, you as an individual, but a part of the whole, as to how you really fit in to community, collectively or intimately speaking, the new contracts that you would want to form with a new mindset, filtering out that trauma, though, because that will only really magnetize you for more of it, So with the Nine of Swords here, this is someone that I feel like this to me is the result of oh, and there's a siren out here. This is a result of someone that knows that they can't really take advantage of, they can't manipulate energy the way that they used to. From the Eight of Pentacles here to the Nine, is someone that was hard at work and finessing and lying, and that, like, I don't know, maybe not lying, but with the Knight of Swords, you just never know. With the Knight of Swords, you never know what they're capable of. But the Nine of Swords is somebody that seems a bit worried that, especially in the way that I'm speaking, that their games are not going to have the same impact or return that they once did. Because there was plenty of supply out here once upon a time for men that just literally, like kid in the candy store, have their fill. But women are becoming far more more assertive and more protective of their energy now. Seeing the signs, it's not as mysterious of a vibration anymore as it used to be. A lot of energies have been exposed, almost too exposed to, like I said, to the point where you almost feel like everybody's a narcissist, including you. You look in the mirror like, shit, what, am I a goddamn narcissist? It's like that the term is so wildly used now that you really have to discern how you're judging that book, not just by the cover, by actually flipping through them pages. What's on the table of contents? Is there a glossary that I could, you know what I mean? Like, shoot, the Cliff Notes, something. I need to know what I'm really getting into here. Yeah, because this is like the return. I need some new cards, y'all, so bad. Look at this. This is sad. This is so sad. I'm going to get some new ones this year, though. I want to get a whole bunch of new ones, but donate to the channel for your girl. Danae Still Divine. Oh, wait, is it Danae Still Divine? No, it's just Danae Divine. Capital D, if that matters. I'm not even sure if it does, but it is noted on my Cash App. If you want to donate to your spiritual experience here, if you value it at all, send me a few dollars so I can get some new cards. Well, yeah, I'd appreciate it, and so would you, I'm so sure. Because new cards bring new energy, and I've been using these for a while now. I usually would have had some cards by now, but I got some transitions going on in life that I got to be a bit more responsible about. So cards are just not really at the top of the list, seemingly trivial to invest in, right? But cards can be expensive. If you know. So anyway, so we got the Nine of Swords. Again, like I said, Six of Cups is like being able to kind of run it back, spin the block. This is these familial. I said familial. Now that's family, and it does reflect that too, but I really meant to say familiar. These are those familiar energies, those cycles, that you are used to, the type of relationship that you're used to, the ones that you usually attract because you haven't cleared that karmic energy, which here says that you have. You've been victorious. That's probably what the victory is about up here with the Six of Wands, is that you've done a great deal of healing and protecting your vitality at the same time. Whereas you should be able to see something familiar that you like, oh no, I did this before. We not running this back. No. Or even within yourself, when you see certain energies kind of like trigger you into familiar territory or into unfavorable responses, that's when like sleepless nights, anxiety, worry, eagerness, like worrying about what somebody's doing, or having to overly contemplate if you're getting the truth, the tea, or not, or if you're being finessed. Those are the flags intellectually, but more so emotionally, that will arise to tell you like, no, we probably need to leave this one and move on. This might not be the deal for you, because that Six of Cups can be tricky because it can evoke an emotional attachment that is almost comfortable to some degree, because like I said, you've been there before, you know it, you know who you can be in that exchange, and it may not even really call you to live in the elevated place that you have newly assumed for yourself. It may be comfortable to revert back to old mentalities and habits and ways of being, and that those reactionary impulses that almost make you feel a false sense of comfort. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Those relationships where you ain't got to try too hard. You don't really, you could be your old funny self again, and no one's any the wiser or lesser. Well, you may be, I don't know, but certainly none the wiser. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's see what else is next. Yeah, but we got the King of Pentacles, who's definitely the high valued man, the upgrade finally. Well, we had the Emperor, but the Emperor and the way that I was speaking of it was a little bit shaky. I don't know. But ideally, the King of Pentacles is a man that knows his worth. So he doesn't need, and also has his own security and stability, as I was talking about, and maybe that has been the transformation of the energies that we're talking about, although I dare to say that it's probably a new energy altogether, because how we started doesn't seem like it was on the trajectory for King of Pentacles. It seemed like somebody, like I said, even here with the Knight of Swords, he was a Knight of Cups and had the opportunity to advance. And still, when we come down, it's like his advancement and the other energy, he found better ways to what's the right way, to perfect his craft of finessing. That's what this energy gave me. So it's just so he could make himself appear to be a better match. If that's not truly narcissistic, I don't know what is. And it's a lot of vibes out there like that, because the feminine stock price is going up so high right now. It's been going up, but it's like blowing up the market from the ways that ladies are just revering themselves. And it really don't have much to do with money, as the feminine force hasn't come out with any pentacles at all. But it's about how we're perceiving our own energy, protecting our energy, and knowing the worth of the value of just that worth, the worth of that value, or however you want to say it, that has risen the stock price for feminine energy up to dividends unimaginable, and so the masculine energies are having to raise their vibrations to level up to meet that truly, or here it is between the tea and the gossip, what's real and what's fake, or to at least present themselves to be a more worthy match than they actually are. They're having to do a lot more work to finesse their way into the system than they have before. And like I said, hopefully the good ones are the ones that, even if you are inspired to, to be motivated or elevated by the potential of aligning with a highly vibrational or highly valued match, whatever that may be. Hopefully it would be in an organic sense with the King of Pentacles, where you legitimately and naturally want to be your best self and bring the best to the table, as I said before, to add value to whatever that collective consciousness may be. And also, hell, maybe to support it, to undergird it a little bit more than it has been before. Because that's feminine energies, like, we've been used to doing it by ourselves and having to more or less, like, what did I even say it in this reading? I feel like I did. Having to like supplement for what's missing, fill the voids. And we've gotten okay with it. I can't say it's foolproof, but we've managed, literally, Two of Pentacles, we've managed the energy. Now it's like we at least want to be met halfway. But certainly, if you would like to come and add even more value, more stability, more support, I feel like most feminine energies, the good ones, as I said, with the good men, the good women, they would flourish that much more. They would even help to advance the partnership that much more with the right level of support and protection and care and nurturing and stability, like truly emperor status vibes, even in the King of Pentacles energy, like he has the potential to grow into an emperor's position, or that energy, with wisdom, as the two of them grow together even, So let's see, like, it's like we can hold out for that. Somebody that has the heart, the mind, the vision, the groundedness, the practicality. We can hold out for that. For the Knight of Wands, or if, in this case, if he is ambitious for that level of stability and security, that's ideal. Because I can get with that. With the Knight of Wands moving into the King of Pentacles, it's like this is what his focus is on wildly. Like, not going to stop until he gets to a place. And you'll see the evidence for that as well. This is actually the only knight in this position that I feel somewhat comfortable with, because this one was given a different level of entitlement and aggression. And this one was given like ulterior motive for me, like wanting to look healed and look elevated and look like, I've ascended too, type of vibes. But the evidence swings right back around to over here, and then up under here, where it's like, this is somebody that could put you in spiritual and emotional confusion on account of presenting themselves to be healed, knowing they ain't got no intentions of really doing so. This is practicality down here. I like it. I like it with the Knight of Wands. All right, let's get one more. Can I get one more to finish this out? That's too many. Oh, but here's the King of Cups. But look what he's out with. Yeah, it's like that cup energy is like, it's a little shaky. At the very end, here he comes, looking like a King of Cups. We started with the Page, remember? Then he grew a little bit to the Knight, and here he is as the King, but with all of this, like, I don't know. This isn't healed energy holistically. This is survival energy. Someone that has been in a great deal of trials and tribulations. But for me, how I see the Eight of Wands, we call it the wounded warrior, but what you've been at war with, but yourself, ultimately, in this regard. And that's the energy here. Like someone that's been maybe even fighting against his own healing or against his spiritual mastery or advancement, like trying to find every other which way, every other tactic to get around the real work. And this is also Scorpio or Pluto energy as well, like not really willing to go to those depths of what was really good or not to heal and to be, master of their emotional intelligence to some degree instead of manipulative with it. That's what this is here. And that's not what's popping. That's not what's popping. Even though they might look like a king, to me, it's given that they just once again learned how to elevate their tactics and, to really kind of polish their skills or even their presentation that much more. Because the King of Cups is one that can harbor a great deal of emotional energy, but not even share it or project it. And you'll never know what's going on in their psyche or in the deep, dark corners of their emotionality. You won't even know. But what it says coming out with that Eight of Wands is that there's a lot of healing that still needs to take place that hasn't quite been accepted yet. So yeah, and then here is the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles, yeah, okay, so it's like with the ambition of the Knight of Wands with this vision in mind, it may take a little while, maybe a little bit, or he may be a bit of a late bloomer, comparatively speaking, if there needs to be a comparison, but he has the potential to get there. And when he gets there is with a great deal of hard work, ambition, stability. It's grounded. It's a grounded offer, something you can count on, rely on. It means well. It's a seed that can be grown to yield a steady harvest with the Knight of Pentacles. So this is like the only energy of the Knights that somewhat makes sense. And I feel like it's because it's given feminine energies may, at least at first, not, like I said, everybody may not be coming to the table fully locked and loaded with everything that, all the boxes on your list checked off. It'll be up to you to discern to decide what is a deal breaker or not. That's what that's giving me. Oh, that's cool how that came back around. Like, it'll be up to you to decide the deal breakers based on your previous experience, based on the present presentation of whomever or whatever is in front of you, and the evidence of that potential, right? So all of those things matter, But I feel like the one that truly has a high potential or has a promising potential is one that is ambitious about stability and security and commitment and devotion itself. Like whatever it is that they're working on, you can see their drive for it. You can see that they are dedicated to whatever it is. Like it comes up in conversation. You see them invest a great deal of time and energy. And this could be anything. It could literally be anything. But like I said, literally seeing the walk match the talk and seeing the results of that ambition. You will see it. Even if it's a steady, slow evolvement, it still will be quite practical to visualize, or it will be quite tangible in essence. People that is just talking a good game, knowing all the right words to say, whispering sweet nothings, got big dreams but no real plan, got plans but no execution, no evidence of a track record, no, and to try and falter is one thing. So it's not about that. It's really like measuring the drive and the ambition of the man to what it is they're presenting themselves to be. That's a different vibe down here that I see. And then this still may not be what you need or what you want in this moment. Because guess what? It still is the Knight of Pentacles, and it still is a delayed evolution. So it's still up to you to decide what is worthy to invest in. You might have someone coming to the table that doesn't have a whole lot of money right now, or their vision for their business is not fully materialized now, and they might not have a fancy car, they may not have a big house, they may still be renting, they may still be paying student loans or whatever, you may have all of that going on, but you'll be able to see the track record with the King of Pentacles here. It'll be visible, tangible, actual for the ambition. And that's something that I feel, particularly as women that are just busting out the gate, highly ambitious and in high power positions and making great money, maybe even being their own boss and having great projected visions for their future, 5-year plans, 10-year plans, maybe own their own houses, cars paid off, money in the bank and the check-ins and the savings, no credit card debt. Like, it's a lot of women that are doing their thing out there, or at least have the ambition and the drive for it, that have a plan in place for how that gets to be. And the true test of synergy in those contractual propositions of sorts, is what's worthy of the investment. Is it something that, because all relationships, all contracts are definitely at some high risk, especially now, because you never truly know what you're getting into until you're into it, So consider all of the signs that we talked about, whether it be professionally, platonically, intimately, personally. Hell, your next, the next gym membership, you consider like, what's in it for you? What do you see being a benefit of your energetic force and the return as well? It's okay to feel that way. It's okay to feel that way, yeah, and to protect your energy and protect your assets. To know that there are going to be far more, especially if you're as high value as I'm speaking of, and you know it, that means other people know it too, is okay to be as cautious and selective with your time, your energy, your passion, your resources, because there might be far more people that want to plug into what you have going on in spirit and in truth than what is truly going to be of value to you or to them in the long run. And even if it is more of a value to them than to you, people, what they don't know, is, I almost want to say, like, keep people honest, because what people don't know, especially in this finesser still trying to be a narcissist in 2024 vibes is that they're ultimately doing themselves more of a disservice in the long run, having misinvested their energy into plugging into a source that they know they don't have no business plugging into, and not meaning well to exchange reciprocally with that source. Narcissists now are seeing the yielding of their investments, and it's not quite favorable, but it's just a matter as to what people are willing to admit to themselves to either, as I said, truly elevate and find a transcendence for their turmoil and toxicity, to get on a certain level that is truly the tea, not the tainted tea, but what is real. Or those that are just going to go back to the drawing board and perfect their craft a little bit more, tweak it a little bit more for the next mark. They're still going to meet the same fate ultimately. So, as I said, your rejection is actually protection for those that, if they're not in alignment and they don't mean well to make a prosperous investment into your portfolio, hopefully they'll be inspired to really go get elevated and go get enlightened elsewhere. Hopefully, it ain't your business, it ain't your problem once you release the energy, but that would be most ideal. So that's why I say for you and for them, because it doesn't fare for either one to be in an imbalance. Yeah, like exactly. It doesn't fare for either one of energies that are ill matched to be connected. It's a waste of time and energy for both, And here is the ultimate response to a disproportionate partnership. Hell no. We won't go. To just block it out, like, no thank you. I'm good over here. I'm that's not the direction that I want to go into, and being okay with that as well, but doing it in a matter of I would say in a very, because this is more of a very confident stance of protection. This Two of Swords sometimes can be like, oh no, I don't think so, or like almost unsure. You're not sure if you're actually deciding quite well, or afraid to make any decision at all because maybe you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, or you're afraid to miss an opportunity that could be a good one, or afraid that nothing better might come along, or but more or less, if you're feeling pretty guarded toward a particular thing in this day and age, especially emotionally and emotionally, so like it's just don't quite feel right, there's a reason for it, and even if the reason is your guardedness means that maybe you got some things to flush out, like if I'm guarded to a good thing that seems like a good thing, there really is no reason for me to be at alarm, and still I'm kind of pushing it away, then maybe there's still some something that needs to be filtered out by way of those experiences of trauma and toxicity that get to be engaged with grace and for healing purposes, so that when it's safe to let those guards down for you, and it not being on anybody else's time or on account of, well, that's a good man, honey, you gonna let him? No, because if you're feeling guarded before you even get to the engagement, meaning, connection, not actually like engagement, but hell, that too. Some people go all the way to that point into marriage, still feeling guarded, and just do it, jump the broom because they feel like they may not have another chance to do so. That also is a recipe for a disaster. So there should be a great deal of courage and confidence to honor where you feel at an impasse. Like, I don't even, especially if you feel indifferent one way or another to a proposition or proposal or presentation of sorts in any way, shape, or form. Remember, we're talking about professionally or interpersonally. There's a reason, whether it's for you, whether it's well-meaning by way of protection. Honor it is what I'm saying. And explore the root of it all till you get to a place where there's understanding for the why, before you force yourself to be a yes and put yourself in a position that doesn't really yield anything prosperous for anyone, and or before you decide to just shut everything down and let nobody in. Give yourself the grace to understand exactly where you are in this present time, and give yourself the time to heal from what for many of us has been a very toxic and traumatic life experiences by way of who you can trust and who you can't. That's just what it's been, and it's still that in many ways, shapes and forms, which is why I'm saying continue to be discerning about what information you let filter through you, and what you allow yourself to even tell yourself about you, because that's part of this energy here. Like, what are you telling yourself about your worthiness or your readiness for whatever the proposition may be? It all matters. It all matters, and it all manifests into matter one way or another, So I think that's a decent message for a Monday. Nothing too toxic, just a lot of, being vigilant of your own energetic force, wielding that sword of truth as you feel guided to do so, with no apologies, because the Queen of Swords ain't apologizing to nobody about her decision-making process. It is what it is, and that's that, So with that being said, I definitely wish you a powerful week ahead, a wonderful Monday. The sun is shining where I am, and I hope it is the same for you wherever you are. I hope it's warmer where you are, because it's cold as hell here, but at least the sun is shining, and in your heart, if nothing else, right? So yeah, until next time, i.e. tomorrow, as always, I leave you with peace.